What's going on, everybody? It's Jared with The Next Play, where we're all about, the professional, social, financial, holistic development of athletes when their athletic careers come to an end. And today I want to take the time to talk about something that I know all athletes deal with in some capacity, and at some point is going to be post-athletic depression. As student athletes, professional athletes, our sport or sports have been a huge part of who we are as people. We put a lot of energy, time, blood, sweat, and tears into this sport that we don't really know how to handle our transition out of that sport. Whether that be, it's just your last college game and you're not going to go play pro. Whether that's injury, whether you do go play pro and now you're trying to figure out how to transition from your professional athletic career to the corporate world, quote unquote, the real world. So I'm going to have 5 things that I've learned along the way that have helped me. So number 1, right off the bat, is going to be to prepare. As athletes, we prepare our whole life. We practice, we train, we weightlift, we eat right, all to prepare for when it's time to perform. But as athletes, it's so easy to prepare for your sport and to ultimately neglect the things that are going to set you up for success after your sport is over. Going into college, I didn't even know what my major was going to be, nor did I have a full scope of what majors my school even offered. I knew my mom, she was a business admin major. That was what I went in as. Took my first math class, it did not go well. And that was a product of me being, not only, I know college is a time they say for you to find yourself, but for most of us it's 4 years, maybe a little longer, maybe a little shorter. We all run in different races, but I didn't know what I wanted to get out of college going into it. Had I done my due diligence on my part and prepared and known what majors my school offered, what majors are going to give me the best return on investment of my time and my efforts in the job market, what internships, networking opportunities, relationships on campus do I need to, cultivate to springboard me and put me in places that are going to set me up for success after the ball is stopped bouncing for me, after whatever your situation is. How do you prepare yourself, or how did you prepare yourself for your transition out of sports? I can wholeheartedly say I didn't do the greatest job, or really a job at all. Didn't really take the time to craft my resume how it should have been, or research job trends. I didn't go to extracurricular networking events. And granted, I've been able to figure it out, but I just look in hindsight, I just look back at how much opportunity and time and resources that went to waste solely due to my lack of preparation. And some of this you don't know until you know it. That's why I want to give it to you guys, so we can help more and more athletes better prepare for their transition out of college or out of sports and into their next venture. And the thing that's so interesting about me, and I'm sure some of you guys can relate, is that I've never even really wanted to go play professionally, to go play basketball professionally after school. I've always been more entrepreneurial minded, and so unless it was just a blatant opportunity there, which at that level there aren't many, at least not many that are worth money, real money in my opinion, I knew I wasn't willing to put in the work to do that. So why was I not putting in the work to set myself up for my transition? I really failed to take full advantage of a few opportunities. One in particular, which was called the Emerging Leaders Program at my school, which it was 1 or 2 members from each sports team. We would meet and discuss a certain topic of interest about every month or so, and then take that topic back to our teams and relay the message, whether it could be like leadership, teamwork, stuff like that. But within that group, we were each paired with a member of the Charlotte community who was pretty well known. I forget his name. I want to say his name was Scott. I can't. This is how unengaged I was. Don't be like me. I want to say his name was Scott, and I believe he was in finance, definitely in like the banking realm or banking industry. The man was doing very well for himself. He would invite us over for dinner. You know, I think my partner, she was on the volleyball team. She would watch his kids, and you know, I just really would show up occasionally, but it's just like, oh man, like I don't want to do this, or I just practiced and just lifted. Why would I take my free time and use it for something I don't necessarily want to do? And in those moments, I didn't understand the value of being put in, not only being able to get to a room like that, but being intentionally placed in a room like that. Those are opportunities that don't happen often, let alone once you get off of a college campus. There's not many people that are gonna, on a day-to-day, that are gonna look at you and just feel like, oh man, this person we should put him here because, you know, I feel like he has whatever gifts or whatever qualities that they saw in me to nominate me to put me in that group. Nobody on the day-to-day is gonna take the time to do that. You're kind of on your own, which is good and bad. You know, we want to take accountability and make things happen in our lives, but we also want to take full advantage of the opportunities that are presented to us. You know, it's no telling, it's not a guarantee that if I would have fostered that relationship a little bit more, that would have landed me a job right out of college. But you never know who that person knows, and then you never know who that person knows. And when you have good rapport with somebody, that's a lot easier or a much better introduction than somebody reading your resume. So being prepared, taking full advantage of all opportunities, that's a huge one. Doing your research before you pick a school. My school was or is a liberal arts school. As we know, the job market now is catered a lot more to technical skills. You know, your engineering, sciences, tech, IT, cybersecurity, information security, networking, cloud stuff, computer science. So in hindsight, you know, if I would have done a little bit more research and maybe figured out a school that best fits my life in its entirety, not just my athletic career, which again, for somebody who never really had dreams of going pro, why would I not do that? Why would I not set myself up for the majority of my life versus the next 4 years of my life? So yeah, number one is definitely going to be to prepare in all aspects. You know, just fail to plan, you plan to fail. I know that's cliche, but it's super true. When you're moving without a plan, you just kind of take what life gives you instead of going after what you want. All right, so moving on to number two, and this one is a huge one for me personally. It's pretty hard, but I know a lot of people, some people I went to high school with, man, are just still struggling with this one. And this is going to be to de-identify. And what I mean by de-identify is allow yourself to remove or to reprioritize the athletic part of your identity. Our lives for the most part has been consumed, our identity for the most part has been consumed. I know for me, especially being tall, anywhere I go, everywhere I go, first question is, please tell me you play basketball. How tall are you? I know you want somebody's team. Like, yes, I was at a point, but I'm also Jared. I'm also a human being. And it's like we put that stuff on such a high pedestal sometimes that we don't know who we are without it, or we think we're worthless without it. But that's the furthest thing from the truth. There's so many opportunities awaiting you if you can learn how to de-identify yourself, or at least, again, reprioritize where being an athlete stands within your identity. We all know, and if you're this person, I'm sorry, but we all know that one person who every time we see them is, bro, we were so good in high school, bro. Like, they couldn't even see us for real. We are 30, going on 30, like 30. It is over. It happened. Nobody cares. Yesterday's skills don't pay today's bills. So you gotta kind of allow yourself to let that part of yourself go, or shrink that part of yourself so you can make space for what's to come in the future. You can't really even be open to new opportunities, new identities, new experiences if your whole world is revolving around what you once knew as your normal, or if your whole world collapses because you don't get to play your sport anymore. Like, life goes on. Unfortunately, you may not be able to continue playing basketball, football, tennis, soccer, whatever that may be. But your life goes on. There's other opportunities, and you have to be receptive to that. And honestly, one of the only ways you can do that, again, is to de-identify. So moving on to number 3, that's going to be re-identify. So we planned, we de-identified, and now when we re-identify, that is going to be the conscious effort to, expose yourself to a new identity. Getting out of your comfort zone, opening yourself up to new experiences, meeting new people, networking, finding things that align with your interest that you haven't really dedicated the same amount of time and energy that you once put into your sport. But now you're almost a blank slate, a blank canvas at this point. You can repaint who you are as a person. Me, I've always been more creative. I've always enjoyed like art, digital art, now videography, cinematography. But that's always taken a backseat to basketball. That's always taken a backseat to school in general. But now, I'm allowing myself to reinvent myself. The job I'm in now, I didn't even know it was a job until last year. I always thought being a salesman was super corny, cheesy. I just throw on a suit. Like, I didn't even have a full suit for my job last year. Like, I had to go get a custom suit made. But, fake it till you make it to an extent. You kind of got to believe you are something before you can become it. But you also have to put in the work, the man hours behind it. They say it takes 10,000 hours to become proficient at something. So you definitely have to allow yourself the chance to re-identify. And it's going to take time. It's not going to be on the first try. You may try something and you might not like it after a month. You may try something and it gets rough, but you committed to it, and then you finally get over the learning curve. You're like, oh, I actually can do this. Oh, I actually can be this person. Oh, basketball wasn't, or my sport wasn't the only thing that I was good at, but it was what I dedicated my time to. If I could reprioritize my time and give it to this new opportunity, this new situation, I could be more productive in this space than I ever was in basketball. A lot of us, I actually just spoke about this morning when I went to go play at Direct. I am a system player through and through. Can I score the ball? Yes. Everybody at the college level can score the ball to an extent. I am a system player. Put me in the system, I'm going to get your blocks, rebounds. I'm going to run the plays and do what's necessary to win. But everybody isn't that guy in the sports world. And that's okay. But you can be that guy, that girl, that man, that woman elsewhere. And it's all about knowing your roles. When you're on a team, there's going to be some people who tend to score more every night and some who don't. Their contributions are just as important, they're just different. Your role may be my role on my college team: block shots, rebound, finish plays when I get passes, and that's my role. And hustle, like I'm getting on the ground, getting steals, stuff like that. Did I have an occasional breakout game where I scored 15, 20? Yeah, every now and then, but on a night-to-night basis, that's not who I needed to be. But also, again, re-identifying. In my high school, I was conference or co-conference player of the year, averaged the most points, most rebounds, blocks. Which, as I transitioned into college, my role changed. I had to re-identify who I was as a basketball player to fit that situation, fit that system, fit where my life was at in that moment. And that's what we have to do as athletes and former athletes, is be where our feet are. You're no longer that guy or that girl on the court. You are the new hire at company XYZ. Figure out, or you are the rookie artist, or you are the rookie, whatever newfound venture you're looking to go on or take on. Live it fully and allow yourself give yourself the grace to be new, to learn something you've never learned, just to be in a different space and figure out who you want to be moving forward. So that's going to be my advice for re-identifying. And you could literally become whoever you want with enough time, practice, and dedication. Give y'all a little bit of background on me and how I've re-identified throughout the years. So after graduating and finishing my college career, my first job, a lot of people don't know this unless you're like really like my family or close friends. I used to clean windows right out of college. That was one of my favorite jobs, honestly, to this day. I got to work outside, pressure washing, gutter cleaning, climbing roofs, ladders, all types of outdoorsy stuff, and it fit because I was an athlete. I like to move. I never really saw myself sitting at a desk all day. So at the time, but I'm going from college athlete to window cleaner, pressure washer. People are looking at me like, why are you here? Like, why are you not in the NBA, or why are you not playing basketball? I'm like, I'm just trying to work, but it's like, I'm trying to allow myself to re-identify. Granted, this is nowhere I saw myself, but that's just where I was at. Again, due to my lack of preparation, I could have been in a different situation. After that, I move on to a short stint in window sales, but I move on to working at the water distribution plant in Chapel Hill, North Carolina. Again, never saw myself doing that, but I was open to the opportunities because of the things that I was learning in the moment while I was, I call them undesired milestones. It might not be where you want to be, but you can learn something from it. You got to be able to look back at each step you take, especially in your career field, life in general, but definitely in your career field or during your career, and take all the skill sets you learn, all the things that you can take from it and springboard it onto the next opportunity. I learned how to be somewhat of a manager. I learned how to run a team. I learned how to deal with angry customers. I learned how to de-escalate situations, cleaning windows. I'm going to people's houses, multi-million-dollar houses, cleaning their windows. They want their stuff handled a certain way. They have a certain standard of how they want their houses taken care of. I go to the water distribution plant. I'm fixing water main breaks in the middle of the road at 3 a.m. I'm on call. Hated it. Half the time I'm too tall to even fit in the holes that's cut out. But again, undesired milestone. Every I wake up, get to work at 7 o'clock. Oh man, like you got a college degree and you play basketball. Why are you here with us? Da, 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 da. I'm like, that's what I'm telling myself. But also it's like, I have enough humility, let myself be in a space for that season. Now, granted, that neither of these were my long-term goals at all, but they were a means to an end, and during those times. So allowing myself to sit in those moments, discover who I am outside of sports, deal with the adversity or the annoyance of, bro, like, why are you here? Da, da, da. You shouldn't even be here. You too tall. Why are you not playing basketball? Like, day in and day out, I'm hearing or asking how tall I am. Da, 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 da. Day in and day out, I'm hearing these things. And you just you gotta allow yourself to let that part of yourself go. Like, would I want to be in the NBA? Yes. Like, I'm not here because this is my dream, but that was my journey. So, and I had to allow myself to I could have been super flustered and salty and been like, you know what, I should be playing basketball somewhere. I'm too good for this. I'm XYZ, but it's like, no, this is a reason for the season. So yeah, man, just allow yourself to be where you at, and re-identify. So number four, that's going to be goal setting and measuring. In sports, we often set goals we want to achieve, at the beginning of the season. Everybody wants to win a championship. Everybody wants to win the conference championship. Everybody wants to win the game. Everybody wants to win the quarter. Everybody wants to win the practice and just be better, right? But anything that can't be measured can't be managed. So we have to set goals. So as I'm transitioning, I'm like, all right, you got to get on the job hunt. Your goal should be at least 20 applications a day. Sending out 20 applications minimum. Get the information back, see what's hitting, see what's sticking, see what's not. Maybe I need to see how many applications it takes to get 1 or 2 responses and move it up accordingly if I'm not getting any. Or if you are in a new job, I'm going to set the goal to learn XYZ within my new field by this month, by this week. I'm going to take the time to do extra, just like you would put up shots, weight lift, eat right, set these same type of goals as you transition. Especially now you have so much free time. So much of our time as athletes, student athletes, is dedicated to our sport. But now you got all this free time on your hands, which a lot of times we say we don't know what to do with it, but just because there's nobody telling us to do something doesn't mean there's nothing for us to do. At a new job, like I got my new job last year. I didn't know what pharmaceuticals, I've heard of it, but I didn't know anybody that did it, or I didn't know that I knew anybody that did it. And I didn't know anything about diabetes. That's the space I'm in now. I had to take the time to learn the information, learn my drug, set certain goals, that's what one thing I do enjoy or really like about this industry is that you're measured on everything. You're accountable for what you're accountable for. We can go back and look and see what goals were hit, what goals were missed, and somewhere in between, the numbers tell a story. And when we're goal setting and measuring, we want to set SMART goals, and that's going to stand for specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, and timely. Just set yourself up so you feel like you're moving towards something. There's nothing worse, especially I feel like as an athlete, we spend our whole lives, or so much of our lives, chasing this feeling of accomplishment, which for most of us is going to be a championship game, championship match. Not having that thing to chase, that goal to reach as a former athlete, it leaves a big void. Again, there's a lot of just free time on your hands that you don't really know exactly what to do with. Yeah, so definitely give yourself something to achieve, aspire to reach as you transition out of your into your post-athletic career or post-athletic life. And then finally, here we are at number 5, which is my favorite. It's kind of a big reason why I even started this channel that's going to be to give back, in whatever capacity you can, coaching, mentoring, spending time at your alma mater, talking to the student athletes who aren't too far behind you, boys and girls clubs, big brother, youth athletics, things like that. Again, that's kind of how I got the inspiration behind this channel. Is my coaches wanted me to be a coach. They wanted me to be a grad assistant. I knew I didn't want to coach basketball, but I actually helped one of my high school teammates, coach an AAU team about 2 summers ago now. And again, definitely reassured me that I did not want to be a coach. But the interaction with the young players was so rewarding, like seeing them learn certain things and getting them to understand what it really takes to get to play college, if that's what they aspire to be or where they aspire to be, showing them just certain things that I wish I would have known had somebody taken the time to teach them to me. I've been blessed with some great mentors in my life, and I don't for a second take for granted the perspective and the insight that they share with me. And of course, nobody's perfect. Nobody's gonna be able to give you a blanket statement for life, but you just take bits and pieces of how this person carries themselves, how they got to where they are. You never know the impact that you could have on somebody 10, 20 years from now, just from a simple conversation. It's like you never know the impact that you can leave on somebody, and that is why I think the give back part is so important. You gotta allow yourself to, that allows you to still, in a way, be involved and connected in your sport. And again, whatever capacity you can handle. I don't want to be a coach. I'm assistant coach at most. Maybe a little skill development here or there, but managing a full team of personalities and all that, that's not me. But again, this is even a new form for me giving back, and hopefully I could take this. I look forward to taking this on a pretty big scale, because I want to help as many athletes as possible understand that they can transition into a great life financially, socially, professionally, however they want to. They have options. They aren't just only good for their sport. They can do so much more. We have so many transferable skills that I think we don't take advantage of. But we'll save that for another video. This is Jared with The Next Play again. I hope you guys really enjoyed it. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and definitely let us know about some more topics you guys would like to hear about. And we're definitely going to have some guests. I'm looking to get any and everybody who, former athletes who have transitioned into, any career field. I just want to expose as many young and transitioning athletes as possible to the opportunities that await them after the ball stops. So you guys enjoy, and we'll be back next time. Take care.